Good morning, welcome to Planet Mojo. Today I'm going to unbox and run a couple quick tests on the new camera for Planet Mojo. Alright, see what we got here. The very first camera I had for this channel was a GoPro Hero Black 8. Okay, that's the SIM card. And I believe the camera came with a SIM card and a battery, which should be the white Enduro batteries. Those are the only ones I use these days because the other ones fail really often. The first camera I had was a Hero 8, and it came in a pretty cool looking display thing. Overkill for getting it mailed to you. This is a lot better. It's more like a store display. We'll read the packaging. I have a comparison list here as well. It's kind of a pressed paper thing. Your camera must be updated before you can use it. Okay. I'll go do this in my office a little bit later. I do have the GoPro subscription, but basically that's just to get the discount on accessories. Tips for cold weather. I'll have to read that. I don't know if I'll read it on air, but we've had a lot of problems with GoPros when it's either too hot or too cold. Yeah, this is really no-nonsense packaging. I thought the camera was dirty because my cameras are always dirty out here in the wood shop, but it has little flecks on the camera. They're blue. That's interesting. Your camera must be updated. Alright. So it looks about the same, or it looks exactly the same as the Hero 10, which I'm filming this with, but I'll show you that one later. That one's gone through 2 years of hell. Alright. Couple of mounts. I got a big pile of those. And the battery. And I got extra batteries. So I have 2 of these Enduro batteries, and that's generally enough for a day's filming, but sometimes I need 3, and I go back to the older batteries, but now yeah, that's right. I got 2 extra batteries, so now I have 5 of these Enduro batteries. I'm going to get them all charged up right away. I have 5 batteries, but I'll be using them in 2 cameras, so that should be plenty. Oh, I do not recall. I do not recall getting 4 batteries, but we'll check the packing list here. Yes, I did get an Enduro twin pack. Alright, so I have 6 batteries now. Alright, and then the media mod and the remote. Alright, I couldn't find all of the information I wanted on the remote. No matter what, it's gonna help with what I do, but I'm hoping that this will turn the camera on when the camera is turned off, but I'm not sure that it's going to do that. We'll find that out. There it is. Not much to it. One of the biggest problems I have is when the camera is on a tripod like it is now, and I go off to do something and come back and the camera is turned off. If you press any of the buttons by hand on the camera moves and it makes a jump on the video, which is less than desirable. There's probably a way to avoid that with the camera by itself, but I'm hoping that this will do that, as well as other things that I want to do with it. Okay, and last but not least is the media mod. I don't think they've updated this in years. And that's a shame, because every once in a while these fail horribly, but for the most part they're invaluable for what I do. I do a lot of handheld videoing outside, and even the slightest bit of wind interrupts the normal camera. And for the most part, these work wonders getting rid of wind noise, but occasionally they just simply fail and you have no protection at all. We'll give this a try. One of mine works, one of them doesn't, and they're both in really bad shape. Okay. I'm going to read through all of this stuff. I'm going to go and get this updated, put the SIM card in there. I got a battery in my pocket. You could tell that this has been used. It's been used for 2 years. We'll go get all of these charged and throw this one in there, and I'll be right back, and we'll talk about why I switched over to the Hero 12. Hopefully you'll be able to notice that I went into the house and the camera turned off, and when I came back I turned the camera back on, and it should have made like a little jump. I'm hoping to avoid that in the future with the remote, but not sure if that'll happen or not. I need to get this media mod in place so that I can work on my resets. Media mod connected. All right. my presets have to have the media mod. Alright, my presets need the media mod in place because some of my all of my presets involve the media mod. Alright, I'm hoping they solved some of the problems with the media mod. My second media mod, I've had 3 of them now, or this would be the 4th. It would shut itself off here and there and completely ruin the video. Alright, this is kind of new as well. I'm going to go get this stuff set and we'll go over this stuff. This is a comparison between the GoPro 12 and the GoPro 10 that you're watching right now. One of the biggest reasons I needed to update is because the camera's getting old, but the Hypersmooth, we have Hypersmooth 4 with the camera you're watching, and Hypersmooth 6 with this new camera. I want to see how good that is. The very first camera that I had, I don't know what, I believe it was Hypersmooth 2 or something, and it was real shaky. And this camera that you're watching right now is pretty darn stable. This is 2 iterations past that, and we'll test it out a little bit later, but I'm hoping it is way more stable than the one you're watching. Alright, I'm going to work on some settings, and I will get back to you. Oh, I'm going to work on this as well, and we'll get back to you and see how everything's working. Okay, I updated the camera last night. It's the next day. I got these 2 paired, and I was doing a bunch of experiments. I'm not sure if I mentioned this, but the big problem is when the camera turns itself off, you can't turn it back on without pushing this button. I'm sure there's probably a setting that you can set so that the camera doesn't turn itself off for a really long time, but I'm thinking that's going to wear the damn battery out. I don't know why you can't use the voice command to turn it back on. I was looking at the list of features between the 2 cameras, and they haven't had that feature since GoPro 9, and the camera we're using right now is GoPro 10. So this will turn on the camera when it's off. So if it's mounted in a tripod like it is now, and it turns itself off, you can turn it back on again without jittering. When I turned this on just a little while ago, you should be able to see that the camera jumped. It wasn't in exactly the same position it was before, and you need it to remain in the exact same position for some types of shots. Okay, this has been sitting since 10 o'clock last night, and it's nearly noon. So about 14 hours it's been sitting off. I'm going to try to turn it on. If you just push this button, oh, actually, I believe, yeah, you got to turn this on. Okay, and I charged the battery in this as well. If you just press this button, it'll turn the camera on, but then the camera will turn off right away. If you press this lower button here, it should turn the camera on. Ah, it does not. Oh, maybe. It's like searching for it. So there must be a time limit. And I'm guessing 14 hours is too much. It was doing it for an hour and a little bit more than an hour. I'll have to test it to see how long you can go. Yeah, it's definitely not connecting. Well, that's a bummer. but it is expected. It has to be using some kind of juice in order to remain, I don't know, kind of awake that entire time. Yeah, it's not finding it. So let's turn this on. I put a brand new battery in here. It's still at 100%. I hope you don't have to pair these things every time. Okay, now it says it's connected. And I started recording. So all is well again. GoPro, turn off. Now it should just turn it right back on. Voila. Okay. I'll have to do some more testing and see how long that you can turn this back on before it completely shuts off. But I know it's at least an hour. Okay, we're going to go over all of the features that I use, and I'm going to try out the new stabilization, which is the top feature here. The camera that you're watching on, stabilization is not on. You shouldn't have stabilization on when you're on a tripod because it gives you a jittery picture. But when it's handheld, Hypersmooth 4 is what is on the camera you're watching, and this has Hypersmooth 6. So we're going to test that out, and then we'll just go over the other features that I use, and that'll wrap up this video. Okay, this is Hypersmooth 6.0. Walking down the road, walking the dogs here. I don't know if you'll be able to tell the difference between Hypersmooth 4, which was on the Hero 10 camera, and this one. I can tell the difference, and it's getting real close to having your camera on a gimbal. It really takes the bounce and the shake out of it. I did notice that if you move the camera real fast and you tilt it, that there may be some artifacts, but all in all, this is really good. If you go back to like the first video, that was Hypersmooth 2, and the difference between this and that is dramatic. Okay, I'll get back with you in the wood shop. It's probably 10 days since I started this video. I've been playing around with this, and I started using it as my main camera, 2 videos ago. So we'll get back to the wood shop and go over the comparison sheets and wrap this video up. That video of me walking down the road there was actually the first time that I've taken any video while I was walking, and it is amazingly smooth. It really is like having this on a gimbal. I'm going to guess that by the next Hypersmooth, they have it completely perfected. It's pretty darn good right now, though. Okay, so comparisons. Hypersmooth 4, if I were to show you Hypersmooth 4 on my Hero 10, when you're walking, it goes up and down a little bit. It really doesn't do that on the Hypersmooth 6, so huge improvement there. Horizon lock, I really don't need that, so, and then we have horizon leveling. Well, I don't know, maybe that is why it doesn't bounce like that. Can't tell you for sure. I don't know if I'll ever use any of this stuff. Star trails, light painting, and vehicle light trails. I will give the star trails a try because it's incredibly dark in this area and we should get a really good image. But Other than that, for novelty, I don't have much of a use for that. The image sensor is bigger in this camera. That's how they can do that smoothing like that. The camera only needs a picture so big, and it's taking a picture much bigger, so it can move around the image that you finally see. Hope that makes sense, but that is how they get this Hypersmooth 6. Time-lapse up to 5.3K. I don't film at those high resolutions because all it does is make a massive file size, and YouTube is going to serve it up as whatever they want to. So it really doesn't make any sense to film in these high resolutions and plug up your computer like that. Night lapse video, same thing there. Max resolution, same thing there. Really don't need those really big image sizes, and my computer won't actually even handle it, and I have a really high-end computer. Okay, mod capability. I don't know if they improved the media mod or not. I don't think they've really done anything with it, but it says H12B, and this is H11B. Maybe they fixed it a little bit. The problem with the media mod is that it shuts off here and there, and you have like no mic at all, or no wind resistance at all, and it sounds really garbled. The video that's out today, this is Sunday, the video on Acorns is a perfect example. The media mod failed, and because the wind resistance is turned off in the main camera, it has no wind resistance at all. Aspect ratios, we're going to be using 16:9 and 9:16. That is one good thing about this camera. You can film in the vertical mode without turning the camera sideways. You had to turn the camera sideways in the previous versions. Now the sensor is big enough to film in the upright version. So if you have this on a pistol grip, or basically any of the mounts, you can film with the camera upright. That is a really important feature. And the remote. I tested that just up to 4 hours, or just under 4 hours, and it worked flawlessly. I'm going to test it longer than that. I'm going to go to 5 and 6. There generally isn't a lot of times when I have that much time to test it, especially now that it's the main camera, but it works for at least 4 hours, and that's probably all I'm ever going to need from it. But if there's a way that I can get it to work like 24 hours, that would be even better. We'll see if we can get it to do that. I'll have to contact GoPro and see if there's settings to allow that. Okay, I'm back filming with the Hero 10, which is now my backup camera, and I'll show you one other thing. This is the video setting that it's on right now, but you have to choose from these really dumb preset names. I have video for normal videoing, but if I have a head or chest mount, I have to call that travel or something completely off the wall. And mounted is good. Video and mounted are good. And selfie is the vertical version. Let me see if you can see that it's set on vertical. I don't know why they don't allow you to name these yourself. You connect to this with your phone in order to install stuff. So why can't you name the presets yourself? And then they changed them too. Between 10 and 12, the preset names are different. So travel, And the only difference there is between travel and video is when it's on video, it uses the back mic, and when it's on travel, it uses the front mic. That's the only difference in those. So that's it right there. Oh, and one final thing before we sign off. The only difference in looks between the Hero12 and the Hero10, you can't see the number on these when you have the media mod on it like this. The media, or the number, is over on the side here. The only difference is this has like blue speckles on it, and that kind of sucks for me. It always looks dirty, but it is what it is. The Hero12 is probably the best version of GoPro I've used yet, especially because of the stabilization, but it's crashing a lot. It's probably crashing 2 or 3 times each day that I film, and the Hero10 would do it once or twice a week, if that. But I believe that'll be solved with software updates. So that'll wrap it up. If you want to see some future videos, the video I'm filming today is going to be the last of the wiring downstairs in the tiny house there. Should be some pretty good video. The tiny house is coming along really well, and we got a lot of videos on that. So if you want to see that, make sure you subscribe and click on the update icon. If you have any questions or comments, make sure you put them in the comment section below. And if you share the video and or give it a like, it helps the channel out greatly. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.